Hey Hayden, this is Mrs. Skoglund. Just wanted to give you a little bit of feedback on your summer assignment. And so we're mostly going to be talking through this L-directed question on Chapter 2, the one that you starred, but I'll kind of reference some other paragraphs as we're talking as well. So the first thing that I look for is a topic sentence to start your paragraph that really answers the question that was provided concisely. And so I feel like your topic sentence here could have been improved a little bit because you stated the question, but I don't feel like you really answered it. So like you said, basically left brain jobs are less needed, and the reasons for that are abundance, Asia, and automation, which is pretty much just what the question said, right? So giving a little preview as to why that is probably would have been a better topic sentence. I did think though that down here your concluding sentence did a nice job of kind of providing like some significance to the chapter. So I liked how you said like, that's basically why we have to move into creative and thought-provoking occupations. So I thought that did a good job of sort of wrapping up these forces, but again, providing that importance. Next, I looked at evidence, and I think you did a pretty good job selecting evidence. We'll talk kind of about your embedding here next. So this first quote that you embedded was done really nicely, and I saw several of those throughout your summer assignment. So it just kind of flows right together, like you say, in fact, at least 3.3 million jobs, blah, blah, blah. So the quote just seems like it's totally part of your writing, which is what we want. Unfortunately, down here, and I saw this a couple times as well, you just kind of have a quote hanging out by itself. And when that's your writing, we want to showcase that. So we don't want a quote to just be a sentence or two on its own. Okay, and so we'll talk a lot about embedding quotations coming up, but that's just kind of something to note. The next thing I looked at was commentary. And really there I'm looking for you to basically draw the connection between the evidence and the question, or like the answer to the question. So, why is it that all of these jobs and wages shifting to low-cost countries, why does that mean there's a need for R-directed thinking? And I think, Hayden, you were kind of on the right track, but I think you didn't fully tie back to your question in a lot of your commentary. So like in this example, you kind of just talk about why jobs are moving to Asia, but you don't tell me why specifically that means that, we need R-directed thinking, which I think is kind of Pink's whole point to the book. So just try to be really intentional in tying this evidence back to the question. Last thing I looked for was conventions, and so your in-text citations look perfect, so that's awesome to see. The only proofreading thing I saw was just some personal pronouns like we, and typically in formal writing we want to try and sort of avoid those. So like people must move into creative occupations. Just makes it a little more formal. I thought you did a nice job on your R-directed activities too. I liked your TED Talk paragraph a lot with the story chapter, and it sounded like an interesting TED Talk, and I thought that you had a good point that when you feel like you're in a situation, you're going to relate and remember it more. So anyway, just wanted to give you a little feedback on your assignment.